I hope you guys are well. We are going to just jump straight into the topic and we are just going to chat today. So, today we are going to talk about Donald Trump giving 1 million migrants notice to leave the USA voluntarily or get deported. Guys, let's talk about that. So much things are happening in the world. We are going to get real on those lives. So let's talk about that. What do you guys think? Comment in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about what Mr. Trump is doing. I know a lot of people has a lot of different views when it comes to what is happening in the media, and I think we should pay attention to what is happening in the media because it's going to affect all of us. So let's have a chat. So let's start with the CBP1 entries. And if you guys don't know what a CBP1 entry is, this is a program that Biden, when he was in office, he made this program to allow migrants to stay and work in the USA for 2 years. So they come in, they work, they can go to school, and they can work and stuff like that. And after the 2 years is over, then they can reapply once they're in good standing and stuff like that. So I think Biden was trying to bring people in the country so they can get some kind of education, they can come in with a purpose, and they can really, get something for themselves, in a kind of semi-legal way, not completely legally, but I mean in a kind of, I'll say semi, because they're allowed to work. It's like they got permission, so they're not illegal. So a lot of people come into the country by this CBP1 entry. Okay, so now that Mr. Biden is not there anymore, and we have a new president, which is Mr. Trump, and he is on a mission to turn Babylon upside down. Yes, because America is Babylon. He's about to turn Babylon upside down. He's doing all kinds of things. Okay, so that is why Mr. Trump is doing. And so now that he come into power, he has removed this CBP1. So if you was under this CBP1, then you have to leave. And he's telling you, leave voluntarily. But if those who apply under the CBP1 app as a refugee or as an asylum seeker will not be affected by this. If you already have like a case, you haven't been to court and your case had not been heard as yet, you are not going to be deported. They will wait until your case is heard. Then after, they will decide whether you're going to be deported or not. Remember to give the video a like, thumbs up, 17 of you in the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. So they will decide whether you stay in the country or not after the judge hear your case and hear why you're an asylum seeker, why you are a refugee, how you become a refugee. And, if they think that you should stay in the USA, then they will let you stay. So you don't have to worry about that. But if they said, no, you can't prove that you're an asylum seeker, or we don't think that you don't have valid proof to say that you're a refugee, then you have to go back to your country. So you have to go back, right? But if you are being stubborn and you wasn't on this CBP1 app thing, and you like, okay, I'm gonna stay, you're gonna have some problem. You're gonna have some serious problem, because now there is a fee. The fee is, I think, $998. Just say $1,000 about that. Yeah, $998. That's what it says on the news and on the articles. It says that. So $998 per day if you do not leave voluntarily, if you are illegal migrant. But the $998 is just like I'm like with that, because if you are already a legal immigrant and you're living in USA and you don't really have money anyways, so this $998, I mean, what's the point? They don't have the money to pay for it. What are they gonna do? Torture you so you can pay? That doesn't make any sense, right? So I'm just saying about that, unless they imprison you or something like that and order you to pay for it, which I don't think they're going to do that, because what's the point of that? They're just going to send you back anyway. So I'm not even going to bother about that. But I would suggest that people actually leave voluntarily and go somewhere else. I know that a lot of people come to the US, especially from Mexico and those countries close by, because they're seeking asylum, right? They're in places where maybe there's drug activity happening, crimes, a lot of high crimes, poverty, maybe farming, all the things. So they come hoping to have a better life. Some people, they've been prosecuted for different things. Girls run away because they don't want to marry the person that they tell them to marry, and all that kind of stuff. Women, a lot of women run away from certain traditional practices, so they run away and they come to the US hoping to be safe there and can live the life that they truly want to live, right? But the thing about it is, USA is saying, go back at your yard, go back at your yard, go back where you come from. The Jamaican, you know, the Jamaican, you know what I'm talking about. Caribbean people, you know what I'm talking about. Go back at your yard, where you come from, go back there, because they are not keeping you in USA if you don't have some kind of legal status, or if you don't have like a work permit, or if you're not a student. And I think people are really taking a risk if they decide to go against this US president, because as you can see, this man is just doing whatever he wants, and he's not going to stop for anybody. When he make up his mind to do something, he is doing it. So if you think like, oh, I'm going to go under the radar, I'm going to escape, maybe they're not going to catch me, they are going to catch you. You see this police people and them that they have dressed in the black? They're coming for you, and they're going to find you. It doesn't matter where you hide, because they have the system set up to catch immigrants and send them back. And if you actually, they have some, I told the fines, right? If you use if you use the CBP1 app, and as I explained to you before, you have a chance. Maybe you might go and the judge might feel sorry for you and you can stay. But if you don't, you're going to have problems. So if you voluntarily leave the country, they have some procedures in place. You can keep all your belongings, right? So that means you can pack up your suitcase, pack up your house, you have a chance to sell your stuff. Maybe you can post a barrel or something if you have the money to where you go into your country with your things. So that's an advantage for you. You can keep your money. If you was in a country and you open a bank account or something like that, you have some money, some savings, you can keep your money, take your money with you. And the next thing is, if you voluntarily leave, you can come back to the US another time. Like, you're not blocked from coming back to US. You in future you can come back to the USA. And another thing is, if you leave voluntarily, is you can get a free flight, a ticket to go back to your country of origin, right? So if you voluntarily deport yourself, okay, voluntarily, you don't wait for them officers there in the black to come get you. If these people come get you, then you don't get to keep your belongings, you don't get to keep your money, you are blocked from coming to the US, and you can go to jail for up to 2 years. Now, guys, use common sense. Common sense, common sense. I'm going to say it here. If you can go back to your country, go back to your country. If you cannot go to your country, find somewhere else to go. This is a big world. Maybe you can go to a Caribbean country. Go somewhere else where you can rest for a little bit and figure stuff out. If you're in a country that is war-torn, if you're in a country where you're running for your life, I wouldn't suggest that you go back there, because what's the point? You're just signing your death warrant. So don't go back there. But find other countries in this big world to go to that is better. The problem with a lot of people is they think America is the mecca of everything. it's like it's the land of paradise, milk and honey, roses. No, there's other places you can go on the continent of Africa. You can go in the Caribbean. You can go to Asia. You can go to Maritimes. You can go to so much different places in the world. Why you guys want to go to America? Because of the American dollar? Like, use common sense and go somewhere else. There's islands out there in the sea that are inhabited by people. Few people, a few hundred people lives on those islands. Go join them. Go make a life there for yourself. Honestly, it's like this, how do you say it? This great desire to go and reside in the US. People have to stop doing that, because you see what is happening. You see that if you're born in the USA, and you know you at an advantage, because USA is not going to kick you out because you are born there. If you don't do what they're going to send you, this is where you are born. They're not going to send you anywhere. But if you're coming into this country and you don't have legal status, you're not in good standing with the USA, they are not keeping you there anymore. Things have changed. Years ago, people would come to the US, at least from my country, at least I know, they will come to the US and have their babies. They'll have babies they could just go and have their baby for free in the USA. In Canada, you cannot do that. I know many people who go to the US and do many things, and they had no issue. Their kids went to school. I have many friends in the US, many friends and family members who came to the US before they even got their green card or their citizenship, and their kids were going to school. They were getting there's a program where they give like the mother some food stamps or something, like I call it food stamps, like food stamps and some money, where I think it was $150 that time, 175, something like that. I don't remember the name of the thing it's called. But you can go buy milk and Pampers and this and that and the other. I used to go visit my friend regularly, and every time I go, I would go shopping with her and stuff like that when she get that money from the government. And she didn't even have status in USA, and that was a long time ago. Now, at some point, every freeness have to come to an end. Everything was going to an end. So it's been years and years, and it's about 15 years now. The US is like, enough. We are only going to cater for our US people who are here. And that's what they're doing. And we are all talking about the US. We're talking about Donald Trump and all the things that he's doing. But do you know that all this thing that USA is allowing people to do in their country, it's not happening here in Canada? If you come to Canada, your kids cannot come to school unless you pay some private school or something to get your kid in. Like, he has to be a private, like a Seventh-day Adventist private school, because I know my friends, they came here and they didn't have any status, and they paid a lot of money to go to the Seventh-day Adventist private school for years until they got the status, and that is how they were able to go to a regular public school here in Canada. So Canada is different. Your child can't go to school. My friends' children are going to school in regular public school in the US, in New York City. That can't happen here in Canada. In Canada, you cannot work legally. You can't go cash in or work at McDonald's or any of those places if you don't have a work permit. They're not gonna hire you. In the US, I can tell you, people are working without any work permit. Nobody really cares. Like, some of my friends who are in the US, before they got the status, they were working. I was like, you working at the grocery store? How did I get this job? Like, I get my pay. They were just working. It's like the people who hired them, they didn't seem like they were scared or they're gonna scared to lose their license. But in Canada here, if you do that, you're gonna lose your license once you found it out. And there's no way your kid can go to regular public school here. And you're not gonna get medical attention here either. And if you do, like if you have an emergency or something, you have to pay for it. If you come here in Canada and you don't have your status or anything like that, and you're pregnant or something, you have to pay a whole lot of money in the hospital. So I know when I was living in another city, and there's a lot of Black people in that city, I know numerous times, like when we go to community, like we have a community center for our country, people talk about, like, you hear stories about different things. You see people have babies and stuff like that, and they tell you their story. They were trying to have the baby at home because they know if they go to the hospital, they had to pay like $2,000 a night, $1,500 a night, and they didn't have the money. So most of them, they they go into labor, and when they're almost having the baby, then they call the ambulance or something, they have the baby in the ambulance or something. They do all this kind of stuff so they won't have to pay for the feed and stuff like that, you know? So it's that's the way it is here. So it's a different system. So everybody's complaining about the US, but what's about Canada? USA give so much things for free, but in Canada, you're not getting nothing free. So, I mean, I'm not agreeing with all the stuff that he's doing because I think some of the things just a little bit too drastic. It's just too drastic. You can't just like uproot people out of the blues without giving them some longer warning, a longer time to get themselves together. I don't think that's fair to people. But again, on the other hand, like these people, like you can say they didn't know that what they want gonna get themselves into. Like, what kind of expectation is that? How could you just want to just go to somebody's country and expect them to look after you? You know, so these are the things. These are the things that we have to talk about when we see what is happening in you. So sometimes we just can't say, oh, Trump this, Trump that, Trump the other. Like if it was your country, would you accept that? Would you accept your taxpayers' money being paid for other people? It's like in Canada here, they're doing a lot of things with our tax money. We don't agree with it. You know, certain things that they're doing, we don't agree with it. We think that our money should go to other things that is much more beneficial to the people who need it, but it's not happening. And so if the citizens of the USA say certain stuff when it come to their tax money, I think they have the right to talk about that. And I don't think anybody should go to another person's country and be legal and then be mad about it when you ask to leave. But I think that people should be reasonable and say, okay, you've been here. I'm gonna give you 6 months. I'm gonna give you 3 months. I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna give you a month. I'm gonna give you a long period of time to get yourself together. Not just, come like with your dogs and your how you call it, your water hoses like in Jim Crow time. It's like that. But I would advise people to just use common sense and leave, because the worst thing that could happen to you is like you sent to some kind of prison, sent to another country like El Salvador or Guantanamo Bay or something like that. That's gonna be horrible. That's gonna be really, really horrible. I was watching on the news where some people that came from, I think from Congo or somewhere, and I think they went to which country it was. I think they went to the Middle East, like in Israel. Yeah, they went to Israel for they went to Israel somewhere for a refugee or something, and they were living there for a while, and then they said that they don't want them anywhere. They don't want them anymore in that place, and so they went. They tell them they have to go somewhere else. So they went, and when they went to the other place, then the other place took them in another place, like somewhere like in the Middle East where it was like bad. It was like hot. It's like they're behind a fence. It's like, they have all these tents out there. It was just so deplorable than where they were before. And the place was not like close to where they can say, okay, we're gonna escape from here and go somewhere. It's just desert. That means if you leave this place and you don't have a proper vehicle, you can't really walk there. You're gonna die of thirst and all kind of things. And so this is not what you want happen to you. If you go to Guantanamo Bay, or you go to El Salvador and say you're from the Caribbean or somewhere, like, no, don't let that happen to you. Sometimes when we see things, we like all in a panic. Stop and think and see how you can make a way for yourself and your family, because it's not worth it. Can you imagine if you're sent to El Salvador or Guantanamo Bay? Like, that would be so horrible. Like, you don't want that to happen. Now, something that a lot of people don't know is every country have an embassy. Every country have an embassy. And if you are stuck somewhere, you can call your embassy and ask them to help you go back home. And that's something that you can do. They can either say yes or no, or they will give you resources to help you, because that is their job, to take their citizen out of another man country, not that they send you there. You know what I mean? You take yourself and go there, and you should have the sense or have the responsibility or some kind of means or some kind of resources to get yourself back to where you came from. But unfortunately, life happens, and we're not perfect people. I mean, a lot of people leave their countries because under dire situations, and some people leave their country because they are going to seek after money. you know they're going to seek after money, and these things occur. So we have to be sympathetic on one side, depending on the situation that caused the person to be there. We can't be so drastic in every single thing. And I think that the president is really drastic. He's very, very drastic. I know he's trying to clean house, and he wants to bring his countries to a certain state, to a certain economic status. But in the process, like, you cannot throw out the baby with the bathwater. And that's basically what he's doing. He's just throwing out the baby with the bathwater. He's causing a lot of disgruntledness within his country, and uh like connections with other nations, other countries, because, like, USA is not standing on its own. It needs other people to help run the country, to bring in resources, to trade and stuff like that. And when he decides to make like conflict with other countries, then his citizens are going to suffer, because the country is not for him. The country is for the citizen. And so when he decide to make, for example, decide to make trade wars with China, and all the raw materials and things that he's getting from China, or the process finished product that he's getting from China, if China decides, listen, I am not doing any business with you guys. I'm not trading with you guys anymore. You're getting me on my last nerve. So when China decides to not uh, do business with America anymore, who's gonna suffer? It's not Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump has his millions in the bank. It's you, the citizens, that are gonna be suffering. You know, all of the products and the things that you guys like to buy, the food, whatever you're buying from China, it's not going to come in your country. And if China decide to sell it to you guys, it's going to be like triple the price. And that means when it comes into your country for USA, that means the price is going to be 5 times the price than it used to be before. And this is something that people are not understanding. Now, I have no time for these politicians, because over the years I've noticed that they don't do stuff for their people. They talk a lot of talk, and they take no action. So I don't have no time for them. So that is why people go out there and they vote, and people have to be very careful when they vote to put people in power, because if you make a mistake and you put the wrong people in power, you are going to suffer. And as we can see, people are saying they regret putting this president in power because they are suffering. Now, we have to watch and see how this thing is going to play out. We're going to have to watch and see what's going to happen. Now is the trade, uh, which is like a big headline, which is making such a big impact. What's next? What next is he going to come up with that is going to make a bigger impact than the trade was? What else? You know? So people just have to like watch and see. And I think like when we see things that happen, we need to prepare ourselves. Prepare ourselves. Because next it could be gasoline. Next thing it could be gas. Everybody needs fuel for their car to run. So what's about if now the next problem is gasoline, oil? What's gonna happen? How are you gonna drive your car? Electricity could be the next problem, could be the next major problem. It's like, so we all talking about trade, 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 trade. There's some standard things that you need to survive. And if these things are hit, everything is going to go crazy. So what are you, the individual, is going to do? What are you, the individual, is going to do now that you see all these things are going down? What are you going to do? The worst thing you can do as a person is to put your life in somebody else's hand. And I think for far too long, people depend on these governments. They depend on the country for everything. Oh, there's welfare. Oh, there's electricity. Oh, there's water. Oh, there is this, and oh, there is that. But if these things go down, you're on your own. And we're going to have like a big crisis. What are you doing to protect yourself and your family? That is the first thing I ask myself when I see all this thing like going down in the world. When I see all this trade wars, are you going to stay in America? Are you going to move out of America? Are you going to start to buy land? Are you going to start thinking about, oh, how can I get some off-grid stuff? How can I get myself a generator? Are you thinking along those lines, or you're just looking at the trade wars? Because these things start and it goes into like a snowball effect, and then everything starts rolling down the hill and it picks up stuff. So you think now, this is the trade wars. What's going to happen next? What's next? And that's what you have to pay attention to. That's what you have to pay attention to. We cannot leave our health into hands of doctors. We cannot leave our existence into hands of politicians. No, you have to take those things into your own hands. Like every day you get up and you open the pipe, water comes out. One day you're going to get up, open the pipe, water is not going to come out. Do you think about that? One day you're going to get up, there'll be no electricity because the people of them are fighting. One day you're going to get up and maybe there's going to be war. You can't leave your house. There's going to be fighting. One day you're going to get up and there may be no gas for you to drive your car. What are you going to do next? You see? So these are all the things that we have to think of as individuals, people with families, people with children, elderly people. We have to start thinking about all that stuff. And I think sometimes when we make these decisions to put people in power, we are not thinking, we're going with the masses. Oh, my friends are voting for this person. Let's vote all together. But did you really go into depth and see what this person is all about? Have you read the laws that they passed before when they were in certain constituency? Do you know the history of these people? Like, yeah, I just hope that people would learn, like the public and the citizen of the country would learn from now on that and think hard and deep before they decide to put somebody there to be their president, before you decide to put somebody to rule over you. Oh, I'm voting this side because my family always vote that side. I'm voting this side because my uncles and my mother and my father always vote this person. But this person does not align with your values. This person does not align with what you want for your children in the future. This person does not align with the infrastructure that you want in your community. This person does not align with the values that you want to see in the school system. Like this person does not align with the safety standards when it comes to food and nutrition. And people do not look at all that stuff. They just vote wildly. And now we have a big problem on our hands. You see? And everybody's playing the blame game. Well, you didn't do your research properly and you voted blindly. So now everything is coming down. Every single thing is coming down. SHI is hitting the fan and it's flying all over the place. You understand? This is what's happening. So when it comes to the migrant, just leave voluntarily. Just go home if you can, or go to another country and see how you can make it there. Because, listen, freedom is everything. You could be living under a bridge and you are free, it is better than being in jail. You could have one piece of bread and you break it in pieces and you share it among your husband and your child or whoever your family member, and you guys eat it and drink some water and you go to bed, but you are free. You can get up tomorrow morning and scavenge around and see what else you're going to get to eat. But when you are in jail or when you're not free, you're at the mercy of somebody else. They control every single thing. They even tell you if you can bathe, if you if you can go to the bathroom. You understand me? And that is something that you don't want in your life. So, voluntarily live Babylon the Great, which is USA, and find somewhere else to go because it is definitely not worth it. Like we say, go back to your yard or find some cozy corner to squeeze yourself in and figure things out. All right, guys? So, this is the live today. Thank you guys for everybody who comes to the live. We are going to keep it positive on this live. We are going to talk about things that is happening, that is relevant in the world today. I'd really like for you guys to give your opinion and put your comments and tell me what you think nicely in the comment section, because we need to talk about stuff. We need to have conversations and we need to share our ideas. And if you have some kind of idea, when somebody watched the video, they'll be like, oh, I wasn't thinking about that, but this idea is fantastic. I will try it, or I will do that, or I will add that to my strategy that I was strategizing in. That's what we have to do as a community. So we're going to be talking a lot of stuff on these lives about real events that is happening in the world. And if you want to watch other things, then you can watch the video on the other part of the channel, which is not live. And it's winter now. It's still winter. It's flooring outside right now. I don't know what's happening. It seems like spring have decided not to come. So I put my coat away. I have to go get my coat out again, my winter coat and boots and everything back on. Winter weather again. I don't know what's happening. But it's still winter, so I'm not doing any gardening. I am preparing for gardening. I have the gardening beds. I have the pots. I have all my seeds, and all these things are ready. But we can't plant anything outside. We can't do anything outside for now. So we're just gonna be talking about stuff. If you have any videos that you want me to do, just put it in the comment section, like you guys are doing. I know I came off YouTube and I was like just so busy when I started working, but I'm back and we're back to our chats and we're going to talk about stuff. So yeah, let's have a conversation. So you guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you and I will see you in the next live tomorrow. Bye. Stay positive.